My name's Robert Leon Cole. I go by Bobby. My occupation, trade is a plumber slash construction slash entrepreneur. Own multiple companies. I do real estate. I do an auto business. I kind of do a little bit of everything. We also have electrical and AC partners. So we're a one-stop shop. The name of my businesses are RLC Plumbing, RLC Auto Group, Romans 8 Holdings, and RL Cole Construction. So I got into the plumbing industry I was working in the chemical plants, doing shutdowns and turnarounds, and the work had kind of dried up and slow. Well, I already had a family at this point, so I had to figure out some other solution. So I went to work for a company called Plumbing out of LaPorte, and they brought me on. The first job that he asked me to do, he said, I need a hole dug 5 foot long, 4 foot wide, and a foot underneath the pipe that's down there. I said, okay, no problem. I called him back in a couple hours. I said, I got it dug. He said, okay. He showed up and he said, you know what? You're the first person that has ever dug exactly what I told you to dig, and it's exactly the way I wanted it dug. Do you want a full-time job? I said, sure. So therefore, I went to work for Plumbing. I worked for Plumbing about 6 years, and Terry Gilpin, who owns Plumbing, is one of the greatest plumbers and people I have ever met in my entire life. He's a good person. He is so knowledgeable, and he will explain things and help you learn how to do something correctly. I can't say enough about him. He was a major inspiration to what I have become in my life. I haven't always seen myself as a plumber. I think growing up, if you'd have asked me when I was younger, hey, you think you're gonna grow up and be a plumber? Do you think being a plumber is something you wanna do? I would have said to you, I don't even know what a plumber does. And so I kind of got into the field almost by accident. I just started working for a plumbing company when I was searching for work. I was out of work, and the plumbing industry really appealed to me. It was a new challenge. Every time I did a plumbing job, it was a new challenge to figure out how to put something together and work on something, and it just became so amazing. I was so attracted to it after I got started in it. So as a child, I didn't really have a whole lot of plans and goals. Like most children are like, oh, I want to be a firefighter, or I want to be a policeman. I looked at my family. My father and my grandfather both worked in the chemical plants, and I looked at them in the jobs they did, and I admired the jobs they did because they both worked very hard and earned everything that they had, but I felt that it was lacking something, and I knew I wanted to be successful at everything I touched. And so, I started learning different things. Even at a younger age, I was very good with my hands, working with my hands, and I used that to maximum effect, and that's how I got where I'm at. So how I started RLC Plumbing was I worked for another plumbing company, and he was a small company, and I could see the potential in. He was very successful at making a very, very good living, a better living than you could working for anybody else. And so seeing that, I decided to go ahead and start learning everything I could learn about the plumbing industry so that we could figure out what to do as far as building a business, a successful business. So when I left that small company, I worked for all the major companies through the Houston-Harris County area so that I could learn how other people ran companies and how they did business so that I could figure out how to best run my own personal business. And that's how I basically got the jump start on RLC Plumbing. So RLC Plumbing, the concept that I had in my mind for building this business after working for all the other companies in the city, I've seen practices through every company I ever worked for just about of how there was no real integrity, how the customer wasn't right anymore, and it really bothered me how customers were treated like a number or, a paycheck. And it really disturbed my soul deep down because I do everything I do with integrity, and I try to treat people like human beings. I try to treat them like they're worth something because their value to me is as much as their value to God. And so I wanted to treat people like they should be treated, like I would like to be treated if somebody came to my house to do something for me. So, the lacking of customer service and the lacking of treating people with love and respect is what really stemmed me building a company that really looks out for the customer. The firm foundation that my plumbing company is based on, and I know a lot of people out there use this and manipulate it into ways that make them sound good, but this is a true statement of my company and every business that I run, is Jesus Christ is first and foremost. And I build my entire life around that foundation, and I run my business that way. And that being said, that gives me the ability to go out and reach souls every day. So I pray with my customers, I pray with my employees. I mean, we really lead the way we preach. And so I just want people to know that how much I love Jesus Christ and how much He's done for me. And no matter how much I give back, it's never enough for Christ's building and the kingdom building. And that's what we care about here, is kingdom building. So some advice I'd like to give you about starting a business or owning a business is, first and foremost, chase your dream. Don't be afraid to chase your dream. Don't let people tear you down and tell you, oh no, you'll never be successful at that. You will not ever be successful if you stand still or don't move or even make the effort to chase your dream. Don't be afraid to chase your dream. If you fail, you've just learned one way not to do it. And one of the best pieces of advice I can give you is go ahead and open up an LLC when you start your business. That's a limited liability company, and so that will protect your personal assets. I started out with a DBA, and luckily I didn't end up in any kind of lawsuit. So a DBA stands for doing business as. So it was doing business as RLC Plumbing. Well, when I rebranded my company, I went ahead and opened it up as an LLC. And so that will protect your assets. Now, you've got to remember, being in business, it is scary. But you know what? Why don't you just lean into Jesus Christ and fight that fear of the enemy. The enemy is the one trying to scare you from doing it because he doesn't want you to be successful. But you can do it. I promise you, you can do it. And don't forget to go with God.